Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Story Nook. Today we're going to be reading some tales from workers that I put into my Discord as I want to read this later on this channel, and now we're finally doing it because I pulled them up, and I have a little over an hour to wait on my husband. So our first story is coming from r/Tales of the Front Desk, and it did not pop up a user over here, but it is titled, I booked multiple nights, so my arrival date is optional. Let me go ahead and move this so I can actually somewhat kind of sort of read my screen, because it is actually bright out in this bitch today. Welcome back to the Legal Garden circa 2017-2018. To explain the timing, I drew the short straw and had to work PM after working audit the previous night. The guest in question booked a multi-night stay, but he never showed up. Now, normally, given his stay length, 4 to 5 days, I would have just pushed back the check-in date, as maybe he had an early flight and wanted to guarantee a room. Unfortunately for him, we were oversold his second night, so his reservation was cancelled, meaning we were no longer oversold. I arrived for my shift, took a vacant, dirty double room that had one guest, so I got a few hours of sleep, and all is well at first. Maybe an hour or two in, a guest arrives to check in, and we can see where this is going. Yes, it is the no-show from the previous night. I tried to explain to him the situation, and that his reservation was cancelled as he never arrived on his arrival date, nor did we have a record of him altering said date. He gets furious that we have no room for him, and he says that since he booked multiple nights, that it's his right to check in when he wants. The guest throws a tantrum, i.e. pacing back and forth and sitting on a couch with arms crossed pouting, and refuses to leave. I have to threaten to call the police, and it takes his kids begging him to leave that he finally does. Oh fuck, he showed up with children? Oh damn. You know it's bad when your kids are embarrassed for you, right? However, he doesn't leave the property. Instead, he sits in his car outside the main entrance. The kicker is that a couple minutes later, I take a call to cancel a reservation that matches the room type the first guest wanted. Now, he is still parked outside, and I could easily sell him the room. However, I can be petty/vindictive. A minute later, I get a call asking if we have any rooms available, and I sell our last room. Another minute later, and the first guest drives off. It's just hilarious that he threw a little conniption fit because, he didn't call in. Because, if you know, you're not going to be there the night, call and be like, hey, I'm running late, can we move the arrival date over by a day? I will be there tomorrow. He is the one who did not communicate whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure, you have to pay, a deposit, and I don't know if that deposit's refundable or not, but he kind of, screwed himself over. So, let's go ahead and go on to our next story, which is also from Tales from the Front Desk. And this is by user Cassandra Terra, and it's titled New Scam. And as you can tell, I don't have internet while I record these. I just load these up on my computer before I leave for work, and then I record them after work as I wait for my husband to get off. But let's go ahead and continue. I had a guest call asking to cancel same day due to COVID and testing positive. I explained our rules. Need to see positive test, and she did. I looked up her reservation, and it's from Fopedia, or in her case, one of their offshoots. I tell her she must call them to cancel. We would waive the cancel fee. Everything should be all good. You already know it's not. She called me back asking if she did something wrong or right To cancel the reservation, she Googled the offshoot's phone number, and they told her she had to get a gift certificate from Wall Drugs Green. She was smart and first called them to see if it was something she could do. She said no, so she called me and asked what to do, and I confirmed to her it was a scam. I'm so glad she didn't fall for it, and we got everything squared away and the reservation canceled without penalty. I have never even heard of this. This is why you never click on the first link when you search for something these days. Oh yeah, and fuck Googly. How do they allow these sites to be on their website? So, just an FYI, tell guests to look at their email to get the contact information for the third-party crap sites, not Googly. Seriously though, what the fuck? Okay, so this, I get what happened with that. The lady who needed to cancel, she Googled the place, and she clicked on the first thing. And unfortunately, a lot of people seem to think Google is a website. Google is just a search engine, and it pulls other things from the website. And Google, being the money-hungry, grubbing little shits they are, like every other major corporation, is just like, oh, you're gonna pay me money to advertise your website? Yeah, we don't give a fuck what you're doing. So, if you pay Google a certain amount of money in all their, algorithms and shit, they will be like, cool, we'll put you at the top. And that's how people fall for these scams. But yeah, tis the bullshit. And we're gonna continue on. This one is from Tales from Your Server. Posted by user The Biggest OE. Where are all my damn tips? Is our title. This was from a while ago, before I became a server myself, but I was still pissed and finally decided to share. Readjust myself in my seat, because I feel like I'm slouching too much and it bothers me. I was working a job as a doorman at a comedy club. It was unique because I was on the door and checking the crowd all the way until the start of the show. But I would be running food from the kitchen to the customers for the duration of the show. We were a combination of door staff and food runners. Either way, we were also supposed to get a percentage of tips each night from the servers. My brain lost what word I was on. Okay, here we go. We were also supposed to get a percentage of tips each night from the servers since we ran out the food and did a fair amount to keep their tables happy. For my first couple of months, my manager gave me a flat tip out of $6 per night. $6 It didn't matter how busy we were or how much extra shit I had to do since he refused to schedule more than 2 servers for the whole night. It was always $6. It wasn't until later on when he was finally replaced, he walked out mid-shift while the kitchen was flooding and left us with nothing, that I asked one of the servers why he only took out the flat $6 for the door staff. I shouldn't have been surprised when she told me that the servers had been giving 10% of their total tips each night at a busy club with only 2 servers. We should have been getting a minimum of $30 a night on an average night, but we were getting 6. I realized how much of a scumbag that first manager really was. He had stolen at least $1,000 from all of us just during my time there that was completely unreported. My next manager, luckily, was completely different and way better, but I still think about that guy from time to time. I worked there for a while. I was in school, and I was struggling to pay for rent and food while he was taking $100 a weekend for himself. Fuck that guy. Ooh, that manager is sleazy and a dick. Push him off a cliff. That's all I have to say. Push him off a cliff. Because that guy sucks. Our next tale is from r/tales from the pharmacy, posted by user Ashman313. Titled, Just Fill Everything. I hate people who say this to me when they call for a refill. angry face emoji. Especially when they have, like, let me count numbers. This is 1,000. 17,479,192 prescriptions. Or the ones who say, I don't know, whatever needs filling, it's in my profile. Or, I don't know what it's called, but it's the little blue pill. What the actual fuck? I want to just hang up on these people and let someone else answer it and deal with them. I sadly do not understand this pain. I had similar things happen when I used to work at the arcade, and I would answer it, and it would just be, like, people off the wall yelling or wanting to, like, schedule something, and me having to explain, oh, you have to come in person to do that. But with this, like, because I used to call and I used to have to fill in my dad's prescriptions, and luckily my dad never said this to me. He was just like, I need to refill this medicine, and that medicine. And all of it's, like, for, diabetes. So, like, there was a Januvia, metformin, and now he has insulin and stuff. So I would call up our local Publix and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so's daughter. I'm calling to refill his medication. This is his date of birth, our address, and the phone number. And then sometimes they would be like, hey, it says he's also due to refill in this one. Do you want to refill that? Stuff like that. I try to be really nice to the people who work in the pharmacy because they handle our medication. But I'm so confused about, like, the people who's like, I don't know, whatever needs filling, it's on my chart. Like, dude, you know how many people? Because I can imagine, like, a pharmacist, like, when I go in, it takes, like, 30 minutes. So I always call in ahead of time to make sure it's there. But I'm pretty sure y'all see, like, everyone in the area who comes to pick up their medicine, and that's probably about 2,000 people. That's a lot of people. You can't memorize everybody who comes in. So those people is mean. Alright. Our next tale is from Tales from Tech Support, posted by user BigSexy33. Title, I need you to come move the furniture. I'm already confused because this is from Tales from Tech Support. I work as a field tech for a company with many small offices. Usually a server and a 10 to 15 workstations. Everything pretty standard. Had an office get remodeled. Normally they were pretty strict about not dispatching me out unless I have a ticket, but due to remodel we were pretty lenient, knowing there might be a few minor issues after everything was set back up. This leads to the office manager emailing me the following chain. Office manager, some of the desks were not put back in the correct spot. Please come out and move to the correct location. Me, I apologize, but you will need to talk to operations about that. Due to office remodel, floor plans have changed. All tech was set up according to the floor plan I received. Office manager, the floor plan is correct. I just don't like the way the desks are facing. After that, I just forwarded her emails to my boss and the operations manager and said politely, moving desk is not my job. Cut to a month later, and I am now CC in an email chain with my boss, ops boss, our area manager, and the region head from this woman saying tech continuously ignored her request after remodel and never came out after she was having issue. Woman, your issue is you are not that bright. Like, it is not the tech people's job to come and remodel your area. That is your job, my darling. And so we shall continue on with our next and last one. I think this one's going to be a pretty beefy episode. Yeah, it's about 15 minutes. This one, we don't have who posted it, but it's from Tales of Your Server. Straight women creeping on me while I'm working in a gay bar. So let's go ahead Read this. I'm a gay man and I work in a gay bar. Unfortunately, this involves dealing with a fair bit of unwanted attention. Most commonly, this is from other guys, but some of my creepiest experiences have actually been with straight women. This weekend, a group of 3 women came in and spent most of their time hanging out at the bar. They were making me really uncomfortable right from the start. They were making really awkward remarks about how I look. It was like they didn't even see me as a real person. One of them said that I'm so pretty, like a little doll. It made my skin crawl. They straight up started commenting on my ass when I bent over to grab something from the fridge. They somehow thought it would be appropriate to speculate on what I'm into in bed. They even tried to rope my coworker into it. Why would anyone think that was okay? It's not flattering, it's completely dehumanizing. Just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm a toy, and just because I'm stuck putting up with it doesn't mean you can just say what you want to me. So I really feel for this OP here, because at the arcade, I got stuck working the bar. Our bar, we didn't have to, make any mixed drinks. We just poured, things like Budweiser, Miller Lite, and stuff like, Mike's Hard Lemonade into glasses and gave them to people. And then, we had, a draft tap that had, 4 or 5 drinks on it. But it was, a constant of having people just constantly come up and say things about you or to you and try to flirt with you, and it was very annoying and frustrating, and I used to say, I'm here to work, not flirt. And it didn't even matter if I was, at the bar part, even if at the food, I had, a whole bunch of, weird people hit on me, and it made me uncomfortable. I had one guy, he was there to buy ice cream, I asked him what flavor he wanted, and he said you. And I'm just that's not okay. And it made me very uncomfortable. I also had, another guy, his name was Eric. I remember your name, you creeped me the fuck out, dude. And he wanted me to cook his food with love, and then when I had to go outside of the kitchen bar area to go around the floor and collect all the bar glasses, everyone had just just left on tables and shit and just left around. At the, bowling alley and all that part of the arcade, he followed me around trying to talk to me instead of just hanging out with his friends. And it just made me super uncomfortable, and none of my management did shit, nor did any of my coworkers. And so, yeah, people be creepy, and I don't know what it is, when you work specifically in a bar, or any bar or food type situation, they think they can just come up and hit on you. No, you can't. It's not cool. We're here to work and make a living. We're not here to find a partner of any kind, not even a one-night stand. No, I'm not going to give you my number. You can walk the fuck off with that. But this has been Tales from our workers. Remember to tip your staff, your waitresses, your hostess, all those people. They work really hard. They don't make a lot of money. Be polite. I know for a fact that servers over here where I live, most of them only make about $3 an hour, but they still have to pay taxes on the state minimum wage, which is $7.25, which is super fucking unfair. And so, yeah. I still think you should definitely tip. I, however, do believe that jobs and companies, they can totally afford to pay their waitresses and stuff a living wage. They aren't, but they should, and they should be pressured to do so. But thank you all for joining us here on the Story Nook. Let me know if there's any other kind of stories you want me to read in the future. Hit all the buttons, the likes, the subscribees, all the things to let me know. And have a great day. Bye-bye!